Tonight, on the world's most amazing videos, a Russian fighter jet plummets from the sky, turning a thrilling air show into a flaming field of horror. Plus, a reckless rollerblader attempts a risky stunt and cracks his skull on the concrete. Then, a towering inferno traps 9 people on the roof of a burning skyscraper, forcing a perilous rescue. And animal control officers find a wild bear stuck in a family's tree. There's only one way to bring him down. Later, a race car driver speeds into a deadly turn and plows into a wall.
He's hit the car wall! What a big one!
These are the incredible true life stories of people who face their most desperate hour and live to tell about it. Everything you are about to see is real. Real people, real danger, real excitement. Get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime. You are about to witness the world's most amazing videos.
The Skanilov Air Base, the biggest air show in the Ukraine. The Eastern Bloc's best jet jockeys impress the crowd. Every move pushes the envelope. Fighters hug the ground so close you can almost touch them. The showstopper is the Su-27. Super maneuverable. One of Russia's best. The pilot guns it for the grand finale. But at the top of the arc, the fighter goes silent. Something is very wrong. The engines suddenly flame out. The jet plunges toward the crowd. The fighter's wingtip slices the tarmac. The aircraft tumbles in a mad backward slide. It erupts in a massive fireball. Terrified spectators run for their lives. Many are injured by the flaming debris. Others search for loved ones amid the smoke and wreckage. As for the pilots, it seems no one could survive a crash like this. But look closely. Only a second before impact, the 2 airmen eject. They're shaken and in shock. They've just escaped the air show's worst disaster with their lives. Mouglan, France. American Ted Davenport trudges up a mountain with a parachute on his back. He's a base jumper. Today, he's set for a daring jump.
Don't know if it's gonna happen.
He's prepared to leap off a 1,300-foot cliff.
395 yards.
The thrill of base jumping is you're jumping off a large object hundreds of feet off the ground, and if you didn't have your parachute, you'd be dead. You'd splat into the ground. And that's a real big thrill.
But Ted's a novice at base jumping. He's got doubts.
It's a little windy up here. Don't know if it's gonna happen.
Windy.
He's concerned about dangerous gusts halfway down. But his friend, Keeper Berg, is videotaping from below. So he goes for it.
Turn it. Oh my gosh, come on. Teddy. Oh my God. Teddy. I was speechless. Oh my God. I couldn't believe he just hit this rock. He's staring at death's door. I can't believe what I just witnessed.
Ted was right to worry about those winds. His control lines get tangled. He slams violently into the solid granite wall.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Then he's bounced back for a second punishing hit.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was a pretty intense feeling. It was, this is gonna happen. This is real. This day has gone bad. And I think as I put my foot out, I didn't realize just how fast I was moving.
He manages to regain control.
My God.
Ironically, it's the wind that saves him.
When I hit the wall, the canopy lost forward movement, which would, in most cases, cause a collapse, and then I would start to fall. Instead, the wind kept my canopy blowing up against the wall, which in fact saved my life because I was able to get out of my line twist and turn away from the cliff.
As Ted approaches touchdown, he just misses a stand of trees. He also shouts a warning to Kiffer. On the ground, Ted's adrenaline is still pumping.
Just had my first cliff strike and had line twist. Slammed into the rocks. Definitely shattered my foot. Started to bounce back. Grabbed my rear riser, slammed into the cliff again. Skimmed by the third impact and was out. Released brakes, flew down. A little scratched up. We're going to the hospital. Dab out.
Ted has a badly broken foot, but he recovers.
It's all good.
Ted learns the hard way. In this sport, the slightest mistake can cost you your life.
I made a really bad decision that day. I should not have been jumping. And as a rookie, I was hungry, and I paid the price.
Up with the Ferrari launching itself.
Australia.
Around the out, still on the charge, still picking up. John,
The final lap of the GT Grand Prix.
not getting the launch like that number 10 Ferrari.
Driver Rolf Bosenjak pilots his Porsche into the lead. He rockets into the most treacherous turn on the track.
The race leader, that,
When suddenly,
and goes past the... Oh, and he's hit the tire wall. What a big one. Oh, Bosenjak absolutely destroys the 911. Number 4 there is the new race leader. Didn't brake for the corner by the look of it.
Porsche is launched and crashes violently into the wall. A closer look reveals even more danger. A group of track workers stands directly in the path of the four-wheel missile. There's nowhere to run.
11, clipped the tire wall, launched it into the air, and clipped the tire. Very hard impact. Enormous, car-destroying impact. And Jack
Crewmen scramble to pry Rolf from the mangled wreckage.
tire wall, launched it into the air, and hit the...
But then,
Saw him, there he is,
he climbs out on his own.
coming out to the applause of the crowd, incredibly unhurt.
Both Rolf and the track workers escape injury. After a mad dash for the checkered flag, nearly ended in tragedy.
And goes past. Oh, he's hit the tire wall. What a big one.
Coming up, a raging inferno forces helpless victims to grab hold of a steel cable and hang on for dear life. Later, a rollerblader gets his kicks flying downstairs and lands in a skull-crushing thud.
Oh,
Plus, officers shoot a wild bear with a tranquilizer dart. But the beast makes a brutal landing. When the world's most amazing videos continues.
Boston, Massachusetts. Teenage rollerblader Adam O'Brien sizes up his next big jump.
I spotted the stairs as we were walking down the street, and I thought to myself, yeah, I can definitely jump from the top of those stairs down to the courtyard below. My friends were like, are you gonna try that? You're thinking about doing that? That's crazy.
It's a 19-foot drop to the hard concrete. Adam's pals egg him on.
My friends, they were all yelling, do it, but it was totally my idea to make the big jump. There was no doubt in my mind that I couldn't land it.
Adam's friend Chris is ready with his camera.
Do it, yo! Tell me when he's coming.
I decided to film the stunt because it was extreme, it was big. I've seen Adam do a jump about that same height.
But Adam's having second thoughts.
I kept going up to the top step and thinking, like, oh wow, like this is so high. I just kept rolling up to that top step, getting all the nerves out so I could feel comfortable about trying this jump. Honestly, it was one of the biggest jumps I've ever tried.
Finally, he goes for it. The jump is a good one. The landing is not.
Yo, go! Call 911! Call 911!
The sound was almost like a watermelon hitting the ground from 20 feet up.
Yo!
Everybody was in a panic. So I said, call 911, call 911.
Adam, wake up!
From the second I jumped from the top of the stairs, I don't remember anything for the next 4 days. It's possible that I fell because I was going too fast. It's possible that I fell because people aren't meant to jump off 19 feet high things.
With no helmet, Adam's head smacks the concrete with a sickening crack.
Adam!
His head is pounded twice. He's unconscious. And not moving.
Yo, go! Call 911! Call 911! Call 911! Bro, I'm busy.
We were all just in panic. Didn't know if he was alive, dead.
Paramedics arrive.
Over there, go ahead. Out of the way. Go ahead.
Adam finally comes to.
All right? Steady and relax.
He's rushed to intensive care. He'll recover, but not completely.
Since the accident, I suffer from brain damage. I suffer from short-term memory loss. I lost my sense of smell. Sometimes it's hard for me to control my emotions. I go from angry to sad to happy to confused.
Adam still rollerblades and counts his blessings.
It has changed my life. I could be in a wheelchair right now, if not, maybe even dead. I fell from 19 feet, fell back, hit my head, and I consider myself to be pretty damn lucky.
Taichung, Taiwan. Curtains of flame engulf the top floors of the Golden Plaza skyscraper. Hundreds of office workers flee. They escape the flames, but they run smack into another lethal danger. A shower of exploding, jagged glass. The blaze was accidentally sparked by a construction crew working on an upper floor. Firemen believe everyone's been evacuated. Then, 30 stories up, a horrifying discovery. They're trapped. 9 people. And the flames are moving higher. The only hope for the stranded is rescue from the air. A helicopter arrives. But there's no place to land. Their only chance is to lower a rope. A man grabs the lifeline. He dangles over 300 feet in the air, hanging on with all his might. At last, he's pulled aboard. 8 more follow. Atop the burning building, there was only one way out, and a thin line between life and death. Missoula, Montana. A 150-pound black bear is stuck up in a tree. He's frightened and dangerous. The question now is how to get him down.
To be honest, I think he got lost and just followed the river into town. It's my job to make sure that the bear is safe and humans are safe, and we get the bear back into the wilds.
Animal control officers load a tranquilizer gun, but the fall could kill the young bear.
Good save is nobody's hurt. What's important is that we get the bear back into the wilds where he won't get into trouble, and also keep people from getting too close to the bear.
Officers assemble a trampoline to soften the bear's landing. The sharpshooter takes aim and fires. The animal drops, but bounces off and slams the ground. It's a brutal hit, yet amazingly, the animal isn't hurt. Once he recovers, the wayward bear returns to the wild.
Bear's safe and the crowd knows he's okay. It was a good, happy ending.
Up next, an Evel Knievel wannabe makes a record jump and a legendary wipeout. Then, a skier loses control on a perilous slope, plunging 500 feet down the mountain. And later, a customer goes berserk and slams a helpless clerk with a brick. When the world's most amazing videos returns.
Kirkwood, California. Skier Tom Weyes is about to attempt a death-defying run. 600 feet straight down. Tom takes off. Big mistake. It's 10 seconds of sheer terror down a steep cliff. Tom's helpless. He comes to a stop, suffocating face down in the snow. Minutes pass. Rescuers struggle up the mountain to reach him. Against all odds, Tom's alive.
I dry docked and hit some rocks underneath the snow in the start of the line, which hung up my skis. I was flying upside down and backwards, tomahawking, what we call backflipping uncontrollably. Hands, feet, head, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing.
Tom's head smacks against the jagged rocks.
My full-face helmet saved my life, but I had a cut on my forehead where a rock went through the helmet, and my chin piece, my jaw piece, broke in two from the impact.
It takes a year and 7 surgeries before Tom is back on the slopes. But But this is one run he hopes to never repeat. Manila, Philippines. A 15-story construction crane looms over the city, but not for long. There's no warning, and there are workers directly in its path. 5,000 pounds of steel crashes down on them. There's a desperate search for survivors, but little hope to find anyone alive. And there are more victims. 2 cars are pounded into a massive sinkhole, with the drivers still inside. The accident is blamed on a ruptured pipe that softened the ground at the construction site. Incredibly, there are no fatalities. Everyone survives the violent crash that turned a quiet neighborhood into a disaster zone. Houston, Texas. This convenience store clerk is used to dealing with unruly customers. But nothing can prepare her for what's walking in. This man is not a customer. He's an angry criminal. First, he curses. Then he winds up. That's a brick in his hand. It's a horrific act. He hurls the brick point blank into the woman's face. She's out cold. It happened so fast, most of the other customers in the store don't realize what occurred. Finally, one woman spots the injured clerk on the floor.
Oh my! Did anybody call an ambulance? What? Somebody call an ambulance?
She places an urgent call for help.
Someone, okay? What? Help! No. What's that cross street out there? I need the police and an ambulance.
The clerk's got a broken jaw, and she'll need reconstructive surgery. But she survives. As for the perpetrator, the surveillance tape helps catch him. No one's sure what sparked this savage attack, but he has an extensive criminal record. The judge gives him 20 years in prison. Plenty of time to think about this cowardly act.
Coming up, it's a race against time when raging floodwaters threaten to wash a school bus downstream, with children trapped inside. But first, a motorcycle racer wipes out, triggering a bone-crushing chain collision. When the world's most amazing videos continues.
Auburn, California. A race featuring dirt bikes with no brakes. Riders skid across the track and wipe out on the curves. Steve Lewandowski, the racer in red, battles for the lead. But he's racing toward disaster. It's a violent chain collision, triggered when the lead racer's bike collapses beneath him. The other racers fly clear of the wreck, but not Steve. He flies over his handlebars and smacks into the wall. Then his bike crashes down on top of him. The 200-pound cycle comes within inches of crushing his head. The crash happens so fast, there's no chance for Steve to react. Steve survives with a few broken ribs. In a sport with no brakes, the racer's edge is luck. Valley Mills, Texas. A flash flood washes a school bus right off a bridge into a raging river. 3 terrified children and a bus driver are inside, stranded and helpless.
What went through my mind first, knowing that there was kids on the school bus, was panic. It was a life or death situation.
Firefighter David Fisk and other crewmen stand less than 50 yards away. But the merciless current keeps them from reaching the bus.
The threat was extremely serious because the water was still rising. The current was so strong, there was so much debris, any number of things could have happened.
Fort Hood Army Base dispatches an emergency helicopter, but they must act fast. At any second, the rising tide could sweep the children away. A ranger descends on a harness. He plucks a 5-year-old girl through the emergency hatch. But then, the soldier swings into a tree. Limbs and branches threaten to rip the child from his arms.
I could hear the rescuer screaming that they needed out of the tree.
Somehow, the ranger holds on as the pilot maneuvers to free them. The little girl is hauled to safety. The ranger returns for the others. Miraculously, they all survive. Even the bus is salvaged. It's a big relief for a small town. What could have been a day of mourning is a day of celebration. Medina, Ohio. Officer Ed Kinney pulls up behind 3 men in a car, and his police instinct kicks in.
They had that straight ahead look when I was up next to them at first, which raised my suspicions. I ran their license plate on the vehicle, and it came back stolen.
Okay, stay there. That's stolen. West on
Officer Kinney tails the stolen car and calls for backup.
40X, I'm going to right. It means you're fully followed behind you from here. Make sure they don't pull out right.
The driver begins to turn off the highway. That's when Kinney pulls them over.
You're on West Liberty, reporting.
18 and Branch.
Liberty and Branch.
We conducted what's called a felony traffic stop.
Pursuit.
The suspect floors it just as backup arrives. He speeds recklessly through a residential neighborhood.
Okay, we're going towards the plaza on Abbeville. 230, let me squeeze in there too. Hit Liberty and
The renegade dodges a roadblock. He heads back toward the highway.
Box him in, 230, box him in.
Police set a trap.
Okay, boss man.
The fugitive slips through it. But the end is in sight. Officer Kenny slams the getaway car into a spin. The driver makes a last dash for freedom. But he's heading for a dead end.
He's trying to exit the gas station. He goes up over the rocks and rams one of our cruisers.
Police draw their guns and a crowbar. They swarm the car, but the driver's still fighting.
Once we pulled him out, he started to fight with us. It's just off the camera view. We sprayed him with pepper spray, and we finally got him into custody.
The driver's arrested. The passengers are not. They wanted him to stop. They're lucky to be alive.
Definitely, it could have been worse. If we weren't able to contain the situation as quickly as we did, it could have continued on, and who knows what could happen then.
Coming up, when a political rally erupts into a brawl, a man gets crushed by a steel beam. And a traffic stop takes a terrifying turn when a speeding car slams a helpless cop. As the world's most amazing videos returns.
Ithaca, New York. It's a snowmobile race. Without the snow, Dutch Culpepper blasts off the starting line and hits the dirt. Dutch showboats for the crowd, standing up at 60 miles an hour. Big mistake. He loses control and takes a terrible spill. The stunned crowd rushes to check on Dutch. He's battered and bruised, but alive.
He's okay!
Woo! There's a reason it's called a snowmobile. And Dutch just found out the hard way.
Brooklyn, Ohio. Officer Kevin White is inside his cruiser writing a ticket. When suddenly,
we're going to need EMS out here. Car number 36 was just hit by another vehicle. 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles in the accident.
Officer White never sees it coming.
I was almost done writing my citation. The last thing I remember was like a sudden crash, and that's when I went unconscious.
The violent impact slams the cop and his cruiser into the car he's ticketing. Debris, including a tire, flies across the interstate. Officer White suffers the worst of the crash.
I couldn't breathe. I was just trying to get myself back breathing again. At that point, I thought I was going to die. I didn't think I would make it.
The other drivers are injured, but survive.
620 radio. We're going to need EMS out here.
But Kevin is left with the painful reminder of a traffic stop gone bad.
Chiapas, Mexico. Mexican Senator Aguilar Bodegas makes his way through a sea of supporters. It's a political rally in his honor. The crowd roars their approval for the senator. But there are some in the crowd who don't feel the same way. They support a different candidate. And they're here to put a stop to the celebration. Suddenly, pandemonium. Rocks are thrown. Fires burn. Tempers flare. Vicious fights break out all over. The opposition hits its peak when they topple the senator's stage. A steel truss crashes down onto the backs of the senator's supporters. 2 tons of metal slam down on the man, pinning him to the platform. Others rush to pull him from the wreckage. Amazingly, no one is seriously hurt. The senator might have gotten beat today, but when the ballot boxes are counted, he wins the election.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Seth Inslow is a motorcycle daredevil. A man who gets his thrills cheating death. And he's worked all his life to prove he's the best.
I like to do the long distance jumps and jump over kegs of beer, girls, or whatever. I've had some big crashes.
He's built elaborate ramps, made death-defying jumps. And it's all led to this. Just off the famed Vegas Strip, the crowd has gathered for his most spectacular stunt yet. Seth will jump a line of Harleys, 230 feet. There's no turning back. Seth hits the ramp at 72 miles an hour. A good jump. A perfect arc. He's cleared the bikes. But then, disaster.
When I landed, the wheels exploded, spokes broke out, and the disc and rear sprocket actually dug into the ground and bucked me up over the bars. The triple clamps on the bike had gotten stressed out from just the whole year of riding, lots of hard landings, and they had a fracture in them, and I didn't know.
A wheel smashes him in the face and knocks him out. Medical personnel rush to the scene. Turns out that knockout punch may have saved his life. His body goes limp and doesn't brace for impact.
Like the difference from a drunk hitting a telephone pole to a guy that's sober and stiffening up and breaking his legs.
Astonishingly, Seth doesn't even go to the hospital. Not even a concussion can stop the man who wants to be the world's greatest daredevil.
I was definitely lucky, so everybody kind of laughed when I stood up and put my hands in the air because they're just like, there he goes again, you know? I can't believe it. He's walking out of this one too.
These are some of the incredible true life stories of people who stared death in the face and lived to tell about it. Join us next time for more of the world's most amazing videos.